We are in Roanoke, Virginia at the moment, and we're actually waiting for Walter to arrive from the UK into Baltimore in about a week's time. But we thought we would do a little bit of a look back, a summary on Albania.
We were there April last year for a full 6 weeks. But yeah, we did some Albanian videos, so go back and look at them. But we didn't do a summary of our sort of our best bits and highlights and a bit more info about Albania rather than just a tour. So yeah, well, we're dog sitting. The amazing
Reggie, and he's got a little brother who's not a Great Dane. He's a Yorkshire teacup called Dobby around there. You might see him.
We got them out in the beautiful Virginia, in a beautiful home. We're staying with family.
So in this video, we're going to talk about the roads, the LPG, the shopping, the
costs,
the park for nights,
data,
all that sort of stuff, the people, the culture, and
where we stayed.
A bit of a reflection on our time in Albania. So what did we do? What did we do for shopping? And what was the differences in Albania to other places we've been?
Well, the thing about Albania was there's not really a culture of supermarket shopping.
No.
So there's not the big supermarket chains, and we shopped mostly quite locally.
Yeah.
We shopped often in local markets and local butcher shops as well.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
We'd go in where when they were all very friendly. Interestingly, in butchers, the meat was never on display, was it? You had to ask what you wanted. You know, in a UK butcher, you would go in and everything would be out. And in Europe, you can point.
Yeah, there isn't a supermarket culture. You just say there's lots of shops, bakeries and stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, butchers. So, and interestingly as well, we found charcoal quite hard to find in Albania, and you would get that in the butchers. We got that in the butchers a couple of times. Right, Reg?
Hello, Reggie. Come on, Reggie. He wants to get in. You haven't been to Albania. No. Reggie, you haven't been to Albania, so don't you start trying to say anything.
So we got charcoal in the butchers.
Yeah.
And milk as well. You wouldn't find in some of the bigger, what we would call local supermarkets. You would get that in the bakers.
Alcohol.
Oh, yeah, we like to do this. Yeah, we like to do this. So your beer. What was your beer called again?
Oh, I'll put it up on screen. Albert.
Idris.
Idris. That's it. Idris Elba.
Idris.
It was Idris Elba beer. No, it's Elba.
Idris.
And Idris, yeah. And it's about worked out about £1.30, I think, for a pint on average, isn't it?
Is that buying from a supermarket?
Yeah,
a can or a bottle from a supermarket, obviously.
It wasn't as cheap as you thought.
If you're eating out, it's much more.
Mm.
Yeah. And wine was about a decent bottle of wine was about £6 a bottle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 And we had a few of those. Or maybe about £2 a glass actually, if you were eating out somewhere. And our gin, because we still had gin and tonic. Tonic was easy to find, and I think gin was about on average about £14 a bottle.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and this is, to be clear, this is not for a branded gin. This is for just the cheapest gin we could find.
You're not getting Hendrix for that.
Yeah.
But overall, the food is quite reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah.
It was much cheaper to eat there than it was in other places in Europe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and again, and coffees were about £1.50. Now that's the thing. There's a huge coffee culture in Albania that comes from the Italians, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Coffee and cake culture. The cake shops in Albania. Wait till you see these pictures. They were, I loved the cakes. And you go
in. You do like a little cake at the end of the night, don't you? I mean, after dinner. So.
Prefer cake to chocolate.
Yeah.
And and you get a really nice selection of cakes for a few pounds, really. You go down, Dobby. So barek is a sort of traditional Albanian pastry.
Yeah.
Similar to what you get in Turkey. It's like a flaky pastry cooked at the baker's with cheese and meat and vegetables, sometimes and spinach and things. And they would be, just a couple of pounds, £2 for a couple of bareks, and that would do you for lunch.
Yorkshire teacup. Yorkshire Terrier. Is it?
Teacup
Terrier.
Teacup Yorkie.
Oh, Yorkie, sorry.
You need to get it right. We'll get told off if we don't get this right. All right, Dobbs.
And he's lovely, yeah. He rules the roost here, by the way.
He does.
He's small, but he's in charge.
He needs a haircut.
He does, yeah.
Okay, let's get back on topic, Martin.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Been distracted.
Data. We bought a Vodafone SIM.
Yeah.
And we did that in Podredek, the first town that we stopped in. We needed data right away. So we stopped in Podredek and went into the Vodafone shop.
Big shop, wasn't it? Really modern.
Yeah, really modern. We were quite surprised. Podredek I think it was a rainy Tuesday and it was really busy. Was it that we bought unlimited? It was an unlimited. They classed it as an unlimited SIM, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And how much was it again?
It was 2,900 lek.
Which is about £24, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Although actually they're a bit sneaky because you rightly said they said that it's unlimited, but it's actually 100 gig, isn't it?
It was 100 gig, yeah, which we didn't. We thought unlimited was unlimited, and there was an app that you could go on. Downloaded the app, but it didn't allow you to monitor your usage, so you couldn't see what you were actually using of the 100. So we did go through, like initially, quite quickly. But the thing there, remember, was that although there was a big shop, and this is the same all over, we bought a second Vodafone SIM, and you have to pay cash. So no card payments. So I had to leave the shop and go down to the cash line. And interestingly, when we were there, might be different a year later, but when we were there was no free cash withdrawals throughout Albania, and it cost us anything from about
£3-4 quid, I think.
Yeah, about £3 or £4 to withdraw cash. So we withdrew a big bundle in one, so we'd only have that one charge to pay actually.
Yeah, good shout, wasn't it? Yeah.
And the other thing about that SIM is that it worked in Montenegro when we went into Montenegro as well. And again, it might be different now, but at the time, you could, if you bought your SIM in Albania, it worked in the other Balkan states as well. So that was a good tip. So if you're going quickly through the countries, buy it in Albania.
It was good coverage throughout most of Albania, to be fair. It was like, I mean, in the mountains, right up in the mountains, I think we might have struggled a little bit once or twice.
Yeah, one
not much.
night, yeah.
But you would say it was fairly good, actually, wouldn't you? So,
yeah, we streamed movies, things like that, yeah.
So actually, next we're going to talk about our park ups, really, and that's your domain. So.
We had some great park ups in Albania, really great park ups, and we stayed in 15 individual places, but we went back to at least one of the places more than once, twice, 3 times. We went back on our sort of circular tour. Right. Remember Belsh,
yeah.
Which was like an eco place, and in the middle of Albania. It wasn't open out of season, but we parked there with free electricity. Mm-hmm. It was really quiet. We loved it. And quite a few of the places that we stayed were Agriturismos. And there's a real culture of Agriturismos in Albania, which I was really surprised about, actually. Really high-end, great quality, great value for money. And really forward-thinking people. Mm-hmm. The 2 that bring to mind were 2 wineries. We stayed at a restaurant and 2 separate wineries. One, a really cool organic place where the owner took us out and told us to take anything we want from his garden. Do you remember that?
He said there was some wild garlic there. There's some
he was showing us all the planting. And we got some really lovely organic olive oil there, didn't we? Mm-hmm. The other place, one of our favourite places that we stayed, that we did a video about, that was an organic place as well, and we had a really, really great meal. And you could stay at these places, and you buy your dinner, and in exchange for staying, like some of the airs in Europe.
That second one you're referring to, I'll put a link in the description below where you can actually click on and see a little video we made of that.
Yeah.
But that place was really farm to table food, wasn't it? All the way. It's just incredible,
great.
As you say.
And we got the tour of the whole place. Hey, Reg. It's quite hard videoing these dogs because they keep interrupting us.
Gorgeous boy.
Martin's turned into Reggie.
He's the lad, he is. He's so gentle.
Dobby's just sitting there. I keep thinking we've lost Dobby, but we haven't. And the only paid place we stay was in the capital in Tirana. And that was in a hotel facility that allowed you to park. And you could use their bathrooms and toilets there.
He was so friendly, the owner, wasn't he?
He was really lovely. We stayed there because it was safer in a big town, and there weren't many sort of free areas. But the owner took us out in the evening. We had our day out in the capital, and then he said, "Oh, come for a drink," and he took us to a microbrewery in his car, and he bought us a drink, and it's just, yeah, the people in Albania are lovely people.
Some.
Oh, you're out here with Dobby.
Yeah.
I need to go and find Reggie in a minute, but you are in the shade there a little bit for this, but why don't you just tell us about the mileage in Albania then?
Okay, so we did just under 600 miles in total in Albania in our journey. In the 6 weeks we were there, we entered from North Macedonia side. Project is where we actually came in, and then we drove in a bit of a loop, and further south was Quapero, and then we exited through Lake Schroeder up into Montenegro.
I thought the roads were quite good. They were, I think the main roads were worse, but actually the country roads were in a really good state, which we stay on mostly, don't we?
Yeah.
And some of the roads, were really quiet.
And there was one bit of huge construction work over the Lagora Pass. Do you remember when we went up there?
Yeah, that was great. Because they're building a tunnel, so the pass won't be used anymore, I think.
No.
Is that right?
Yeah. I think people still might be able to use that pass, but why would you when you can go through the tunnel? Because
it was a beautiful drive, wasn't it? It was a really beautiful drive. But it was quite hard on Walter because it was so steep. The Lagora Pass is, how many?
Oh, I'm not sure how many meters it is, but we had to stop halfway.
We did.
To stop halfway to let water cool down. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Walter held up well. He got about 32 to the gallon, which is.
Oh, you like telling that story.
Yeah.
So was there anything that wasn't so great? Honestly, anything that wasn't so great?
I suppose, just to mention, it didn't spoil our time there, but just like a lot of the countries we visited, dogs are an issue. Wild dogs, aren't they?
Stray dogs.
Stray dogs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are on the street, and but we didn't have any problems with them. But they're barking in some of our park ups at night. And
yeah, right, but you kind of get used to it, don't you? You kind of get used to it. And they weren't. We didn't really see any malnourished dogs. Or they're quite well looked after, I think.
Show me a country in Europe that actually doesn't have dogs. If you're a motorhomer, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And what about the smoking thing?
Okay, yeah, the culture is still to smoke in restaurants and cafes, so if you sometimes will be inside having a meal and the next table will be smoking, and it's just, it's a different culture. We're not used to that anymore.
So it's hard to pin down, but it's an inevitable question, Eileen, your most favourite place that we went to in Albania.
I'm really finding it difficult to choose one, because we did towns and cities. We did Tirana, which is the capital, which I loved being there. That was really cool. We did the mountains. Remember, we went on the road that wasn't on Google Maps.
Yeah, I remember that road.
And over to Tepelen, and that was one of the best drives ever. It was so cool. Such a great drive. I loved that. And then we did the coastals. We did Devoured and the beaches. What was your best place? I know what you were going to say when we mentioned beaches.
Yeah, it was. We found a beach called Livada Beach, and we were out of season, of course, and it was like a dead end, and we parked right at the very end of this beach, and it was out of season, and we stayed there for a week. I mean, it was more. It might be just slightly more. It was 7-8 days. And
we met some lovely friends there. 2 separate German couples, and we had sundowners on the beach, which was lovely.
Yeah. And then actually the beach was nice in its own right, but just like a mile and a half, 2 mile walk over the hill, there was another beach called Aquarius Beach.
Turquoise blue waters, little tiny cove, snorkeling on our own. Oh.
It don't get much better than that, does it?
No, it was absolutely beautiful. What was the thing that you liked best? Was there anything specific about Albania?
You have the people. I think I think it's fair to say that Albania doesn't get a good press for whatever reasons, and some people were saying before we went, oh, be safe there, take care, but absolutely
Or don't go.
Or don't go. But the friendliness of the people there, the warmth, the generosity, the amount of times we were given food, bread, fish, it was just incredible. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. And people, lots of people, they're really happy to talk to you about the UK, and they know someone, a family, or they know someone they've been to the UK, or they know someone that's in the UK, and they'll tell you stories about that, don't they?
They will tell you some stories, which we'll just leave it there. But Joe, we went to the capital, Tirana, and we got the bus into town, and we were on the bus stop, and this lovely young girl was waiting for the bus as well. We got chatting to her. She spoke fairly good English, and we spoke to her while the bus was...
She was about 16, 17.
16, 17, no more than that. Anyway, the bus came absolutely packed. We had to squeeze on, and they still have a bus conductor coming around inside the bus. And when he came to us, and he squeezed around, and I tried to get my money out, no, and he pointed to this young girl, and she'd paid for us. Unbelievable. She wouldn't take any money. I was really embarrassed, but what a sweetheart, wasn't she?
She said, thank you for visiting my country.
Yeah, thank you.
And you do this for Albania because of the flag.
Yeah.
Albania.
They
We
like
love
that.
Albania, and they like it when we do that. So yeah, we did.
The friendliness.
Definitely the people. We met lots of Americans in Albania. Interestingly, we met more Americans in Albania than we have in the rest of Europe.
And the reason is, Americans get a year's visa there, don't they?
Well, a year visa free, I think they get. They can visit for a year at a time. So we'd be in random places, quite remote, and suddenly an American would be walking towards you. So yeah, that was interesting. Something that we didn't realise before we went there either. But yeah, the scenery. It's like the undiscovered Croatia. That's what we call it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good
undiscovered Croatia.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it. 20 years behind Croatia.
But as you talked about, with the Lagora Pass being developed to make the tunnel through, so you don't have to go in the pass, it is being developed. So I would say go now. That would be my top tip. Go now. Hey, Reg.
Hey, Reggie. Come on, pal. He's getting excited. He thinks he's going to Albania.
So yeah, the top tip would be to go now, I think, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and it is safe. So, I guess, in summary, I guess the question is, would you go back?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved Albania. It's one of my favourite places we visited, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'll be interested to see what it's like in a couple of years that we've talked about with the development. But yeah, the people, the scenery, the history, the geography of it, is because it's not too big a country to visit, and we didn't do the south at all.
Yeah.
You can do lots of travelling and see lots of the country in one quick visit. So yeah, definitely go. Would you go back? Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Would you?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I hope so, because I'm going to go with you. So if you're not going back, I'm not going back.
But actually, we're in America right now, so we're going to be.
It will might be a little while before we get back. So yeah, tell us if you'll go.
Yeah, and
Are you planning to go?
Yeah, or if you have been, if you watched this video to see what we said, then why don't you leave us a comment?
Yeah, let us know what you think of it, and have a look at our other videos.
Yeah, we have made some on Albania and other countries we visited, so it'd be good to hear any of your comments, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and subscribe. We're supposed to do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some YouTuber says you've got to tell people to subscribe.
Okay.
You've got to give them the option. You've got to put it in their head. So if you haven't subscribe, and like. Or give us a thumbs up. Is that what you're supposed to do? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's YouTube.